So in the event that there is that need to vote in a division, you will get notice. So,
Mr. Speaker, if I may,
Honorable Chief Whip for the opposition.
if it's possible, sir. We were looking at the time that we went through earlier and the fact that we were unable to get to the capital items. And we were wondering whether it would be possible for us to do current and capital agency by agency instead of um, the program by program, instead of the way we did it earlier, if that's possible.
For me, it's neither here nor there. It's just a little extra turning of the pages. That's the only thing. It was more efficient to go through the current because you're just flipping one set of pages. But if the chief whip of the opposition feel that that would be a more efficient way of utilizing the time, I would gladly accept. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have to formally put the pages 304 and 305. That's the Ghana Defense Force. Gone. All gone. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 53, Program 531, Ghana Defense Force, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. That was current expenditure. The sum stated for this program, current expenditure, now stands part of the estimates. And for same agency, 531, capital expenditure, I put the question that the sum stated herein now stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated for program 531, Agency 53, Ghana Defense Force, capital expenditure, now stands part of the estimates. Let's turn over to the next page and invite the staff of the Parliament Office, National Assembly, to join Honorable Minister Gail Teixeira. Thank you. Honorable members, let us turn to pages 80 and 81. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 7, Parliament Office, Program 071, National Assembly current expenditure, stands part of the estimates.
Mr. Chair.
Honorable Chief Whip for the opposition.
So the page seems to be wrong.
So you're having a Mahipol moment?
Yeah, go on. Okay, no, I was looking at volume 2, sorry.
So honorable members.
But also, I think that the honorable members could look to the Appendix T where the breakdown is of the Parliament Office and the other constitutional bodies.
So, honorable members, especially our newer MPs, anytime a page is missing, that is known as the Mahipol moment. Unfortunately for him, this first budget was missing a few pages. So, Honorable Minister, you're saying the appendix,
Appendix T, page 697.
page 697 in volume 1, the breakdown is there. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 7, Program 071. I now put a question that the sum stated for Mr. Mahipol, honorable member.
I was requesting your attention.
In all fairness, she was first, sir.
Honorable Member, Chief Whip.
Thank you, sir. My question is very simple. Can the honorable minister please indicate what has been budgeted for the leader of the office of the leader of the opposition under this?
What line? Line item.
6041 is one item for the whole agency.
Yeah, what's the line item,
My dear,
honorable
the
member?
constitutional agency 6041.
6041? Yeah, no. I believe you're asking another line item. It's the Parliament Office and the Lady Opposition Office. It would be, just to help you along, I believe 6321, which has the total items, 34,670,000. The leader opposition budget.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I may be wrong. I don't profess to know everything, but we're dealing with a constitutional agency which just has a lump sum at 6041. So
Yes.
so we're 6321.
But then you can ask, madam, under wages and salaries or under what heading is the leader opposition?
Honorable Minister, Honorable Chief Whip for the opposition was trying to guide us where to
And it's
find that. sir.
under the Appendix T, it's under subsidies and contributions to local and international organizations. So the 15,581 includes the leader of the opposition. You want to know what the leader of opposition?
What, yes,
34,670,000,
thank you.
and that's current only.
Mr. Mahipol.
Thank you, sir. Sir, from this allocation, this allotted sum, that is the lump sum, sir, may I ask how much is towards the procurement of video production and streaming service for these parliamentary sit-ins? What's the
Line
cost
item.
associated
Which
with
heading
that?
you're under?
Sir, the Appendix T that we have on page 697, it gives the breakdown without an associated line. So,
But it does give the lump sum, so you have under other recurrent charges, other goods and services purchased. That's what I'm referring to on the Appendix T.
yeah, but we don't have a specific number for the line item, so I'm guessing it
I'm
will
aware
come
of that, but
under
I'm saying you
other
have-
goods and services
headings.
purchased.
What's the question again?
How much is towards the procurement of video production and streaming services for these parliamentary sittings that we're having?
And you ask it under other goods purchases?
Well, I'm assuming it falls there because it doesn't have this specific number in to show the line, but I see a sum there of 146,560,000. So I'm assuming from the lump sum, there is where it's coming from.
Right, just give me a second. If you look at, under other goods purchased, which on the line items would be 6284, and under normal situations, that total, it's 146, that's not 624. Yeah, not 624. No, it's 146. Just give us a second. That can't be the right one. He's asking specifically about the cost of the web services, live streaming and so on.
Live
here,
streaming and so
in the
on.
parliament, right?
For this sitting that these sittings that we're having, and all sittings, I'm guessing that is contracted out to DPI, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Chairman.
But the figure is different. The figure is different from what's on Appendix T. And it doesn't see that.
Sometimes I find it a bit unfair for the minister to be answering when I know much more.
Yeah, well, I would like the day when you're in the pit. I call this the pit, not in any disrespect to my parliament and our parliament, but I feel as if I'm like in a gladiator's amphitheater, waiting for the wolves to devour you. But anyway, yeah, I'm looking for the figure that you're asking for. Anyway, I'm not seeing under this heading the description relating to the web services that you're looking for, at least not what they've given me. What have you got there?
But Mr. Chairman, if I may,
Yeah, wait, just give us a minute here. I'm aware. Yeah, but the description's not the same. Descriptions have to be the same. So anyway, and it's font 8, so if I read it wrong, please forgive me. I'll walk with my magnifying glass the next time. Because I asked all the agencies, please, to make the fonts larger. Of course, not everyone obeyed. But the issue of this has about the Hansard, the website, branded items, scanning of accounts records, photocopying and so on, but I'm not seeing any figure in this particular line that you're asking about in relation to the cost of the service to live stream parliament.
so may I ask, Mr. Chairman, if there exists an agreement or a contract between the National Assembly, the Parliament Office, and DPI for them to cover and stream, and at what cost are they doing it?
Yes, you can ask, and Minister, can I prefer an answer so far? They have done it for free. But the other live streaming, especially when we have special sitting, like when Mr. Modi came and we have an additional 1,000 people, we would have to rent services from outside. And in fact, only this midday we were talking to another agency to do a better feed from the chamber to the press tent downstairs so they can get a better quality service. All of that will be covered on the 6284.
Well, unfortunately, it's not in the description of 6284, nor under other goods services purchased.
Yeah.
And so,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I'm happy for that answer. May I ask a second question, please? Sir, for when I became a member of Parliament in 2020, and I've also interacted with several persons who were parliamentarians in previous parliaments, the 10th, 11th, and 12th Parliament, and private members of Parliament would normally be comforted with an electronic device to assist them in their routine parliamentary work. Ministers of government, I am aware, normally would get a cellular phone and an electronic gadget, a computer. May I ask if there's any cost here for the purchasing of those devices for especially the new members of parliament, or more so the 13th parliament?
I believe that's in the 2025 budget. There was provision made in the 2025 budget that there would be a new parliament. However, I advise that whilst the figure for that, those electronic devices were there, that parliament did not use that.
So may I ask, sir, if there is an intent on the part of the National Assembly to purchase these gadgets for the ministers, their phone and computer, and for private members, their computers, to assist them in their parliamentary duties?
Honorable Minister, that would be covered under the capital, so if
Okay.
we could dispose of the current and then move to
One other
capital.
question on the current, sir, with your permission. I see under education, subvention, and training, there is a sum of $1,500,000. May I ask the Honorable Minister what kind of training, and does this encompass traveling abroad for training in other areas, other countries, to benefit our parliamentary staff so that they can better service the MPs and the member and the National Assembly?
don't have to
Mind you,
go
they're
to-
doing an
have to
exceptional
go to it
job
here
just to
either.
improve their service to the Parliament office.
You see, I didn't put the codes in here, right? That's what you did to me. 6 to what? For training for parliament staff, and they have report writing training of 422,000. Parliament editing for the same 422, and miscellaneous for 156. They also have a $500,000 for stipend for students.
And all of these trainings, sir, would be done locally.
Yeah, overseas, yeah, but it's not there in the T form. You have to translate the two. Under training for staff, for MPs, exposure to conferences, you have the 28th conferences, speakers and presiding officers of the Commonwealth, 6 million, 74 Westminster seminar on effective parliaments, 8 million, 152nd IPU assembly and related meetings, 12 million, the 22nd Parliamericas.
That's a different line, sir. I was asking specifically to training of the parliamentary staff with a sum of 1.5 million. I think the minister's answering
They have 6 million for.
other operating
They have
expenses.
6 million for overseas training for staff.
Okay.
Yeah, it's usually through CPA and the courses they offer.
I'm finished with current expenditure, sir.
Just a quick follow-up. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm just wondering whether the National Assembly, the Parliament Office, whether they have the full complement of staff or are there any vacancies?
Let me see. No, they don't have their full complement. They do need, they have some vacancies.
Would you be able to say how many?
I'm waiting. This is not my ministry, so forgive me. Yeah. There are vacancies that they have. Documentation and research officer is at 1, a senior editor 1, expenditure planning and management analyst 2, they need 1, table officer 1, reporter 1, assistant clerk of committees 3, systems analyst 2, system support officer 1, and office assistant 1. So they do have vacancies. You have persons acting in some of these positions. So in the area of documentation research and senior editor, as well as EPMA, they have persons acting in those positions. So the positions are people working there, but they're not appointed So the rest though are vacancies that are available. No, how are you going to conflict of interest, my dear? I don't want you being a clerk of committee. You'll doctor the minutes.
Thank you, honorable members. I now put a question, honorable member, Mr. Duncan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On that very line item, Minister, I know we've enjoyed the hospitality of this beautiful building for a little while now because of COVID. The question is, based on the rental and all of that, when do we intend to return to public building in Brickdam, the National Assembly, the home of the National Assembly? Yes, that was the real premise of it. I want to see Priya closer, face to face.
I'm not looking forward to that, actually. But we have to remember too, we have 42 government MPs and 29, so that's more MPs than we had before, and therefore my own view is it'd be a little bit tight in the new parliament, but that's a decision that's not in my hands. That's a decision for the president who's made the declaration that we meet here. This place has advantages. It's more space, as well as some facilities are probably better in Parliament office, and maybe one day we'll get a brand new Parliament building, who knows? But the decision is not ours, but I think a number of us are quite comfortable here in one sense because of space.
Honorable members, I now put a question that is some stated for.
And of course, I'm being reminded by my health people that COVID isn't really gone, it's still here. It's just not as, on the same level as before, but there are people still getting COVID, and there are people getting mutations or new mutations of the virus. So, so space isn't a bad thing. I like you being over there.
Thank you very much, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that is some stated for Agency 7, Program 071, National Assembly, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated for the National Assembly, Program 71, Parliament Office, now stand part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 513.
No, I know, but what is this is broken down? Where's the breakdown?
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 7, Program 71, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable member, Mr. Mahipur.
Thank you, sir. I don't know if you want me to repeat the question, the same question concerning the gadgets for members of Parliament of the 13th Parliament, the cellular phone for ministers, computers for MPs, both ministers and private members, and parliamentary secretaries, and so on, in terms of assisting them with their parliamentary duties.
Honorable Minister.
Phones and laptops are not here in MPs. I said that, yes. So he's asking if it's budgeted for in 2026. I'm advised, Honourable Member, that the issue of your raising to do with the cell phones and the laptops have not been budgeted in 2026.
So may I ask, Honorable Chairman, does that mean that the members of Parliament of the 13th Parliament will not benefit the same way members of Parliament of the 12th, 11th, 10th, and as far back as the 9th Parliament benefited with electronic gadgets to help them out, and ministers with cell phone? Am I to understand that ministers are not benefiting from the cell phone and the cell phone allowances and so on that comes with their office?
The ministers, those who wish, have cell phones provided for them if they wish within a threshold. Those who don't wish haven't got. And they also pay their internet is part of their full salary and benefits. And yes, the cell phones are paid for by their parliament.
So no member of parliament will be getting any computer to assist them with their parliamentary work in 2026.
As far as I know, we have not, at least I haven't got it. So I don't think we've got any laptops for ministers from Parliament office.
Thank you, sir. Sir, may I ask another question in terms of provision for building? I'm assuming this is the Parliament building at Brickdam. I see improved facilities and operational efficiency. I did take note, sir, of the security huts, which I think is a great plus, and greater security measures being taken. May I ask, what are the other works intended to be done in 2026 to improve the facility?
Honorable Minister.
Zoning, furniture. Right. They include, there's $18 million for furniture and equipment, a number of computers, etc., for the staff, construction of guardrails around the outer parameters of the Parliament building, the public buildings, 20 million. Construction of building to house the parliamentary police unit, 12 million. This was a recommendation to this by the Security Committee, I believe, subcommittee, and the police force. And the Constitutional Office of the Leader Opposition, furniture and equipment, 5 million. That makes 55 million.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable members, some honorable member, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Chairman, through you to the Honorable Minister, would it be possible to share what was the budget request from the Parliament office? We know the amount budgeted and the items that were disallowed or not accepted.
No. Do you want an explanation of why I said no? Would you like that, really?
Honorable Minister, the answer is no.
So based on your budget and what money you have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 7, Program 71, National Assembly, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you, Parliament staff, for assisting Minister
Oh, that's yours too.
through your agency.
Thank you.
Let us turn to pages 84 and 85, Audit Office, and invite the Auditor General and his staff to join us through his agency.
Thanks. Hi, good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 8, Program 81, Audit Office, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Chief Whip, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm guessing, I'm at Appendix T, taking your guidance. I think we're at statutory wages and salaries, if I'm correct. I'm just
Yes.
wondering whether the complement of staff, if the audit office has the full complement of staff, there's the government has expanded, lots more going on to audit. Just wondering what the staff complement is currently.
Honorable Minister.
Yeah, under statutory wages and salaries, we're not dealing with all the staff of the auditor office. This is the salary for the Auditor General, right? So as you see in Appendix T, total statutory expenditure, that's for the Auditor General himself and And the statutory benefits and allowances, that's what he is entitled to, right?
Noted.
And so when you come to the other one, wages and salaries, then you'll come to the, that is under, that's, well, in the T thing, it's grossed up. So yes, we'll look at the issue of the staffing that you're requesting. Do you have a full complement?
Honourable
According to
member.
the Auditor General, he has 10 vacancies, 2 audit directors, 1 audit manager, 1 auditor, 1 audit clerk, 1 confidential secretary, 1 human resource officer, 1 programmer, 1 supervisor of computer operations, and 1 engineer.
Thank you.
And this is on the establishment which is approved by the Public Accounts Committee. Right.
Thank you. Just a follow-up.
This is
Has the audit office found itself in a difficult position trying to retain staff in terms of the fact that they have 10 vacancies? Is it a case that if there's an issue with retaining staff, or it's just that you have not yet asked for those places to be filled?
Honourable Minister.
These are new positions? Yeah, based on promotion and number of factors, these are now vacancies. So they've moved some people up and it's creating now vacancies in the positions they originally held. So that's 10. This is in unit 2? This is new. So the new unit of oil and gas, which Auditor General has to follow, that will be 12 new vacancies, 12 new positions that will be created, specifically to do with oil and gas.
So that will be filled, to try to fill that
That
this
will
year?
have to be approved by the PAC first,
Okay.
right? And then they will be able to fill the positions.
Noted.
Because remember, PAC gives the
Yes.
approval, right?
Understood. Thank you.
Honourable member, Mr. Mayupon.
Thank you, sir. Sir, on the other operating expenses, there's a sum there of $28,492,000. The audit office usually will audit between 10 to 15% of the work of each ministry, agencies, and departments. Is there any consideration from the Auditor General to increase that percentage, considering the larger sums of monies that are going to the respective ministries, and in previous findings, if he sees the need for a larger percentage to audit as opposed to the 10 to 15%?
If you check my poll too, the issue of, as a former member of the PAC, we all recognize that the Auditor General had increased the number of audits it was doing, including areas that were outstanding for a long time, like the NDCs, municipalities, a number of statutory bodies. And we've seen in the last year a number of those statutory bodies submitting reports, even if they may be 5, 10 years old. So I think we're trying to mop that up and to make sure, maybe hopefully by the end of next year, we can clear off a lot of these outstanding audit financial statements, etc. And I think that's basically because they've also had some additional staff as well to push the work. In relation to the question you asked, yeah, I believe, without asking the Auditor General, that the program for 2026 will be brought to the, well, it was approved because we didn't have a PAC, but the program for 2026 would show an increase in the number of audits to be done.
May I ask, Mr. Chairman,
ahead.
how many performance audits will the Auditor General conduct in the year 2026 for expenditures previously?
Minister.
This is not the same as the money audit, these ones? Yeah, that one. Yeah, so in 2026, they are projected to do 3 value for money audit reports and have those submitted to Parliament. One is on the impact of Information Communication Technology Program in Guyana by the National Data Management Authority. Second one is preparedness by the Guyana Fire Service to respond to wildfires. And three, follow-up on drugs and medical supplies.
Thank you, Mr.
Those are
Chairman.
three identified for 2026.
Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable Minister, I have a few questions.
Yes.
I don't know whether I should share them one at a time. One is a clarification. I think you mentioned that you have 10 vacancies from your traditional structure, plus additional 12 from the energy unit that is being set up.
Mm-hmm.
And for the energy unit that's being set up,
It's a petroleum and oil and gas unit.
yeah, the oil and gas.
Oh.
For the oil and gas unit, is the salary scale the standard public service scale, or is there some kind of market-driven remuneration?
The audit office would have to bring to the Parliament, a Public Accounts Committee, the proposal of the positions, the JDs, and the salaries for the PAC to approve and bring to this House for its approval. This House approves that. So the PAC gives its, I guess, support or not contending it, and it would come to this House for the approval of this House.
My
There's a
question
new
is whether
position
there's an
being
intention
created.
to do so.
Well, obviously, when the PAC is created and we get the information from the Auditor General's office, when he's
Well, I
ready.
saw the rep shaking his head vigorously. So
Beg your pardon?
I said, I noticed the rep for the Auditor General's office
He's not a
shaking.
rep for the Auditor General.
The Auditor General,
He is the Auditor
right?
General.
Yeah, thank you. And I see him shaking his head vigorously. So I'm taking it that a recommendation will be made for the oil and gas unit to have above market recommendation.
Well, it's a unit we all think that should be created and put in the Auditor General's office with the requisite skills to do that kind of audit and work.
Thank you. In the sum allocated on the other goods and services purchase, I'm trying to figure out does that cover? I know from time to time the Auditor General's office will use external audit firms. Is that budgeted for under that line item?
Honorable Minister.
No, the Auditor General doesn't pay for private auditors.
Yes.
The agencies will pay their private auditor. Once it is they're approved by the Auditor General. In other words, they're qualified and they're certified. So really what the Auditor General gives is a no objection to the person qualifications, but the agency will pay for that. So a number of the statutory bodies will pay for their audit to be done. In the case of the NDCs, a lot of them over the many years, and the shortfall that went on was that many of them didn't have the money to pay for the audits. But that has somewhat improved now. They are all being audited, catching up with 10 years and stuff like that.
And my final question is, the Auditor General, in the process of giving his blessing to such external auditors being used, how is this done? Is this on a cycle?
Honorable Minister.
The judge who gets it.
I'm just trying
I'm
to,
advised that there's a valuation committee in keeping with the Procurement Act, made up of the Financial Secretary, the head of the GRA,
Oh,
and...
one second, Honorable Minister.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Chairman,
What's this one?
there is a,
Oh, yeah, nice.
I
Yeah.
can't hear because of the noisy gallery.
Honorable Minister, could you repeat for the honorable member, Mr. Campbell?
I was adding to what I said, that when these positions or these auditors are reviewed by a committee, like an evaluation committee, made up of the Financial Secretary, the head of the GRA, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, ICAG, and the head of UG Social Department, and the Governor of the Bank of Guyana. Those make up a committee that reviews the applications for auditors from private sources,
Thank you.
right?
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 8, Program 81, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, let us turn to page 514. And I now propose the question that the sum stated for Program 8, Agency 8, Program 81,
Okay, they'll
Audit
pass it.
Office, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates.
This is yours.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 8, Program 81, capital expenditure, Audit Office stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no.
Thank you.
Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you, Minister and Auditor General and your staff. Let us invite the members of the Public and Police Service Commissions to join Minister as we go to pages 88 and 89.
How are you?
Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 9, Program 91, Public and Police Service Commission's current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question. Honorable Member Ms. Halley.
There we go. We're not going there though. Please,
How many people on contract is?
can the Honorable Chair, Honorable Minister, please, I would like to know what the current strength of the public service is. I'm hoping that the Public Service Commission will be able to answer that question.
Minister.
The number is 14,140.
Sorry, 14,000.
140 what? 45.
Thank you.
On the fixed establishment, right?
Okay.
On the fixed establishment.
I was now going to ask for the contracted employees. What's that? What?
In the public,
In the public service, yes.
wait 1 second. No, contracted workers have nothing to do with the PSC. You remember the circular that was put out in 2020, early 2021, advising that people had a choice to go on contracted employment or on public service fixed establishment. It was a reversal of what was done in the previous government where people were told they had to become public service fixed establishment. People have, over the last 5 years, been opting out. Some have been opting back into the fixed establishment as they get older and hope to get their pension. It's fluid, it's open. But the numbers on that he deals with, not him, sorry, police and
Yes.
public service deals with, is the 14,145.
So
The PSM deals with, one, the creation of the post, two, the approval of a person going on contract. If they want to go on the public service fixed establishment, they're then sent to the Public Service Commission for the normal procedural arrangements with that.
thank you. Thank you.
But remember, two contracted employees don't get pension, whereas the
Understood.
fixed establishment gets pension, right? So they
Agreed.
collect their gratuity in lieu of pension.
Understood. a question for the Police Service Commission.
Yeah,
Based on the indicators, it showed that there's an intention to promote 560 police officers this year. When I look back at last year, there were 679 officers that were promoted. And it struck me because I remember an announcement that 2,800 police officers would be promoted in last year. So I was just wondering whether the 2,800 promotions are no longer happening and why not? So, because when you add 560 to the 679 last year, it just adds up to 1,500, which is, you know,
that was it.
a shortfall.
What's the number again? 2,000? It was supposed to be promoted.
645 were promoted last year.
Yeah,
It is the same amount we proposed this year.
yeah, but they're asking about the
That would
total.
depend on the vacancy that exists.
Yeah, one has to remember that the Police Service Commission is the one that makes the appointments of the promotion of officers above a certain level. And so 645, as you said, was appointed last year. They're aiming for the same amount for this year of 645. However, it would depend on a number of factors. Persons who are coming off or retired, creating vacancies for the next level to come up, those that may have come out of the police completely and have created vacancies. And so it's fluid, but the aim is to try to do 645. It could be more, it could be less, if people, retire and stuff like that. So that is the intention, is to reach 645. But please remember too, we have lost the chairman of the Police Service Commission recently, a very good, honorable man. And at this point, the Police Service Commission would not be meeting because we also have another person who died as well on it. That was Mr. Conway, I think. And so we'll have to look at appointing additional people to the commission. So I'm not sure the commission with two people can function and make the decisions without at least the chairman being there. And the other person on the commission is the chairman of the Public Service Commission.
Thank you, Minister. Would it then be fair, the 2,800 numbers, is it deferred now? Revised? Is it the 2,800? Was it overstated in the first instance?
Yeah, I'm not sure, honorable member, where this figure of 2,800 coming from. Was this an official document or?
It was stated by the person who we can't mention in Parliament, but it was stated by.
I thought it was 2,000. I never thought of 800. I always thought it was 2,000. So I myself heard 2,000, but that can be checked. But the other thing too is, remember, the Commissioner of Police also appoints, promotes up to a certain rank. And so in that 2,000 figure are those that would be under the Commissioner of Police. And then you have the 645 that the
So it
Police
might
Service
add up
Commission-
to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So remember,
understood.
the constables, sergeants, and all those are under the Commissioner of Police, not under the Public Service Commission, Police
Police
Service
Service
Commission.
Commission.
Right?
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 9, Program 91, Public and Police Service Commission's current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 515. And I propose the question for the same agency, Program 091, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 091, Program 9, Capital Expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates.
Mr. Speaker, if I could just add something, and that is that the Police Public Service Commissioner moved from where they were. They're right now on Irving and, what street? Landscape Street, the corner. So in case you're looking for them, you now know where they are. They've moved from where they were in White Plain.
Thank you. Thank you very much to the staff of the Police and Public Service Commissions, along with Minister. Honorable members, turn to pages 92 and 93 and invite the staff of the Teaching Service Commission to join Honorable Minister in the well. I think that's a better word, Minister, than the
Hi,
pit.
good afternoon.
Somebody said all is well in the pit. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 10, Program 101, Teaching Service Commission current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Hadi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Practically the same question. I would like for the Honorable Minister to state how many senior vacancies currently exist in keeping with the MOE vacancy list.
Honorable Minister.
These are teachers.
Yeah, 2,800 vacancies.
2,800 vacancies exist in the teaching profession.
Thank you. 2,800, I heard accurately? Yes.
That's what I'm told, yeah.
Can the Honorable Minister clarify what positions are understood as senior positions?
It's not allowing you to do that. Yeah. Just give us a minute, please.
No
If
problem.
you don't mind.
We have POS, HMs, DHMs. I'll work on this Sunday, last Sunday.
Yeah,
SMs.
I was advised by the Teaching Service Commission that on this Sunday, well, 1st of February actually, that they have advertised in the newspapers, Chronicle and Starbuck News, the 2,800 vacancies that exist, and for non-board schools, and they also, the posts,
Okay.
which teachers and so on. So heads of primary schools, nursery schools, etc., secondary, and what grades,
Noted.
and stuff like that. So if you check, it should be.
I will check it there.
And you're rolling it to this last weekend too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the addendum.
Noted.
Yeah, so it
Thank
should
you.
be rolling in the papers, not just on one day, February 1st, but subsequently.
Thank you. Can,
Go ahead, Honorable Member.
thank you. That was for senior. For the junior vacancies, can the Honorable Minister state how many junior vacancies exist?
Minister.
Yeah, sure.
The Ministry of Education advises the Teaching Service Commission of how many teachers they would need at different levels. And so with the new schools being opened, new primary schools, new secondary schools, that they would have to indicate how many more teachers they need. And then they would then look at what stock you have and what more they will need to advertise and to hire. So it's a synergy between the two organizations to make sure they have a balance in what's the supply and demand for teachers. So they have for the senior teachers, 2,800 vacancies. They have not, you've not been advised by education yet?
No, not this year.
No, they're pending the advice. As you know, a number of schools, and therefore some are coming on stream mid-year, near September, and so they have to look at that. But also you have a lot of teachers being trained that will want to come into the system, will come into the system after they graduate in, was it September?
Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipur.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, before I came to this National Assembly passed by the Teaching Service Commission to drop in an application. And the building is in a
Yours?
very,
Your
internally,
application?
the building is in a very deplorable condition. I see we spent $15.4 million for maintenance of building in 2025, and I see a sum here of 11.002 million. Will this sum be used for the rehabilitation to make the environment more conducive to the staff members who are functioning in what I conclude at the very deplorable state of the building? And I did take pictures which will be on social media shortly
They have, it is
via
true,
credible sources.
it is true that it's an old building and it does need work, and every year they're putting in some work into it. This year, the maintenance of buildings, under maintenance of buildings, they have put the reconfiguration of the third floor boardroom at 2.2 million, the renovation of storerooms, and repainting of the second floor of the commission at 3 million. That is what they put in under maintenance of buildings. You have anything else, Pastor?
No.
Honorable Member, Mr. Maipo.
Yes, sir. And what does the under maintenance of infrastructure, this paltry sum of 2.8 million, what will that be doing? Is that also to the same building, or is there?
Yeah, it is for painting of the fence of the commission. As you said, the paint is chipping and all of that. As well as metal rails and paint on the walkways of the commission. The existing paint, as I said, has been chipped due to regular use. So this is mainly painting and putting up rails, for example.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Final question.
The challenges in their capital, which we haven't come to, they've tried to put in a lot of stuff to do with digitalizing, so that, because these are all, many of them are paper records going back decades, and yeah, you're talking about the building. I'm more concerned about the records, yeah, but anyway. Yes, of course we are. I share your concern.
Am I allowed to ask my question as yet?
Honorable Member, Ms. Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given the allocations on the fuel and lubricants and maintenance of vehicles, can the minister state how many vehicles are currently in use by the Teaching Service Commission?
3 vehicles are in use.
And can the honorable minister say which officers are authorized to utilize those vehicles?
One for the chairman, two for the secretariat.
One is for the chairwoman and 2 are for the secretariat, the commission itself, the commission secretariat.
One is for the chair and 2 for the commission secretary.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 10, Program 101, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Page 516. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 101, Teaching Service Commission, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 101, Teaching Service Commission, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you very much, Minister and staff, for taking us through that agency. We can turn to pages 96 and 97. Guyana Elections Commission. Invite the staff of GCOM to join Minister and her staff in the well.
Hi, good afternoon.
Honorable members, I now propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 11, Program 111, Elections Commission current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now call on MP Mahipal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, may I ask if from this allotted sum, I'm guessing under other operating expenses, because I'm not seeing any other line that suits the question, if there is a budgeted allocation for the advertisement for an ACEO, which I'm told is absent in terms of not the position not having anyone, and a DCEO.
Yes.
Honorable Minister.
And may I ask, Honorable Chair, what is the salary and remuneration of the ACEO and DCEO? I never know, I might suit the job, sir.
You want to apply for the job? We would miss you in Parliament. The Deputy Chief Elections Officer, the salary per month, basic salary is 1,328,274. And the Assistant Chief Elections Officer, monthly salary is 943,585.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Minister.
much, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable member,
Yes.
Mr. Hetzberger.
This is the scale 9, so the salaries are consistent. This is scale 9 salaries, so they're consistent from IT manager right down to research officer.
These are all the vacancies.
Yes.
Yes, sorry, I've missed the question. Oh,
Mr. Chair, through you, I would like to know if there are any other senior vacancies outside of the DCO and the ACO.
Honorable Minister. It's okay, you can sit there.
other vacancies, yeah, give me a break. Legal officer, the information technology manager, research officer, security manager, and chief accountant. Those are the, I would say, the senior staff that's vacant. No, man. Scale? Okay, so but you're vacant here.
Security, but it's in red because they're vacant.
Yeah, I read it. Yeah. What was the question that was asked? About what?
Miss, outside of the DCO and the ACO, any other senior vacancies?
No, I read them out already. That is the legal officer, information technology manager, the research officer, and the chief accountant. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, from this allocated sum, which is just below what was the sum in 2025, is there consideration for local government elections this year
Yes.
in this sum?
Yes.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
there are. In their budget, they have provided for local government elections, both in terms of temporary election day staff, for polling day staff, as well as ballots and stuff like that. So they have material requirements for elections. I'm correct, I said ballots and stuff.
Thank you, Mr.
But
Chairman. Mr.
very uneducated, yeah. But yes, they have provided in the Appendix T, as you know, but the actual program in the GCOM is 2 programs, one that deals with elections, one that deals with more administration. So they've catered for transportation, printing materials, training of the staff that works on election day, as well as the payment of scrutineers, etc. So that's all included in the budget. So although it's slightly less, it's not a huge gap when you look at the cost for the general elections versus the local government. And in a number of heads, which you haven't asked questions about, they bought materials last year that can roll over from into this year. Certain materials like print and stuff like that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, on the other goods and services purchased, may I ask the Honorable Minister if there's any consideration to further increase the level of transparency and scrutiny of elections in Guyana? Is there any consideration here for biometrics to be facilitated at the place of poll?
Honorable Minister.
That's a question the commission as a constitutional body has to discuss and come to agreement on. And if that were to happen, then the requisite funds would have to be made available by supplementary, which you know.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Maipol. Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Mr. Chairman, it was the same question as Mr. Mahaipal.
Honorable Member, Ms. Sarabo Hali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm guessing it's on the goods and services. I may be wrong, but can the minister state whether it's on the goods and services that the ID cards are accessed and printed under that? Purchased ID cards for?
We have sufficient materials for the production of ID cards.
Honorable Minister.
I'm advised that the GCOM is of the view that they have enough of the materials to make up the ID cards for the rest of 2026.
Excellent.
If you go to the indicators, it gives you an idea of the number of new registrants that they handled during the continuous registration of 12,387, and you're targeting for 2026 as much as 30,870, and they believe they have enough of the materials for that.
Thank you,
For the
Mr.
ID
Chair.
cards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a follow-up.
Go ahead.
On the ID legislation, there's a new EID that persons have to, I know, I'm very aware of it is. But I was just wondering if GCOM has seen it as duplicating what it is that they're doing, or they're seeing as two different things, if there's any overlap in the issue of IDs from two different agencies.
No, there's no overlap. The National Electronic ID Card, e-card, is one in which people's data will be on it. If in the future, it'll be like in other countries where you have all your data on it, your medical records, your licenses, your driver's license, everything else that could be swiped by different spheres of influence or excellence and be able to access that. So once you have that ID card, you can go to the public hospitals, and the hospitals develop the electronic systems. You just use your card and they'll see if you're diabetic, if you have heart problems, if you have any particular complications. So it is very different. The national ID card is basically been used as a basic tool, as an identification, and will continue along that way because it's going to take time to get everyone their national electronic cards and e-cards, and that also some people, people may not want to join it either. So we're not excluding the cards from GCOM, but the one on this new system that we're looking at is really to make it easier for the population that they just have a card that has everything on it. And so the work that's going on to make sure it's safe and that then a firewalls to prevent it being hacked and all these things is an important issue. And also under the Data Protection Act to protect people's private data, which is always a challenge with electronic data. And you may know that the Commissioner of Data Protection has been appointed, so that we're moving in that direction of making sure the Data Protection Commission and the new national electronic cards will work in a particular systemic way.
Okay, thank you, Minister, for that.
Mr.
Just a follow-up and then. I hear you, I understand the direction in terms of the EID, But I was just wondering, so we will not be in a position where there will be that the EID would be used during elections as an
After, you mean
identification.
before the,
For you know how you have to use your
You mean
ID
for the
cards from
election
GCOM to vote. Whether the EID would be, whether GCOM would allow that persons to utilize the EIDs to vote instead of the GCOM ID card.
That-
If
that
that's a
would be-
conversation that has started already.
no. If that were to happen, we probably have to amend the law as well, the election laws. But as far as I know, it's not on the cards for that, at least not for the local government elections. The commission would have to make a determination, and then it would lead to other action and changes in
Thank you.
legislation.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Still, I had, the rule is who first catches the eye, and I saw your green light.
It's Ms. Walton is here.
Honorable Member, Ms.
Thank you.
Amanza Walton.
thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to follow on, Minister Teixeira, you said that people might not want to sign on to the EID. Am I to, just my clarification, that this will be something that is purely voluntary?
Minister?
No, it's not. It's, if a person says, look, they don't want to be on it, you can't force them. They have to go themselves and be registered. So it's voluntary in that sense. But once you are going to go to hospitals or places to get your licenses or to get treatment, you will be asked eventually for your electronic card because they want to look and see if your data, your health data is on it, or if your driver's license is on it, if you paid your income tax or whatever. So it at this point is voluntary. People can go and get it. But at some point, even if people have chosen not to do it, it will become very cumbersome to not have it. And that has happened in many countries that have introduced these new forms of identification and databases, that you do have a gap with people who may feel reluctant to join them. But I think over time, people realize how valuable it is to have it all on one card. So if the police stops you, they can also at some point swipe you and they'll see that your license is in order or whatever, or how many traffic violations. So a lot of stuff has to be added, and those databases have to be synchronized and developed with protection. So it's going to take a little while, I think, the cards being issued will be fine, but it'll take a little while to update all the data onto everyone's cards. It will take a little time.
Just a quick follow on, Mr. Chair. Given
Go ahead.
that the minister concedes that there could be a time lapse between all of the components being added onto the cards, and I'm particularly interested in the example that the minister used about access to health care. Is the minister at all concerned that a citizen not possessing this card could result in them being denied health care, particularly at state institutions?
I think this is
Go
an
ahead.
interesting debate to have and discussion in the House. This is under GCOM, but I will just say that we'll have to ensure that we make sure that people are not discriminated against or denied access to health, education, etc. That's very important to us to make sure that everyone has access to health and education, water, etc. So we'd probably have to make sure that the training of the officers who will be using and seeing the public with these cards would have to go through some training to make sure that they understand very clearly. If you have someone come in from a faraway village that may not have got their card as yet, they cannot be denied access to health. They cannot. The only disadvantage is that the health workers may not have all their medical history at their disposal. But that shouldn't, and now with the telemedicine sites that we have, I think there are over 153 now, and they're adding on in 2026. That will help to provide to, say, Georgetown hospitals the kind of information they may need, whilst a patient may not have their card as yet.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Campbell.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, could the Honorable, in the last election, there was some debate over whether those who were Commonwealth citizens and voted were qualified under both residency and domicile. I noticed that I'm asking on the other goods and services purchase whether there's a provision for an added layer of investigation to ensure that they're not only resident but also domiciled.
If you go back to the legislation, if I remember correctly, and probably CEO can advise me, this has been something we inherited, I think, since independence, as part of the getting independence, that the Commonwealth citizens would be allowed to vote in Guyana elections if they've been here for 1 year, right? And so how do you know what that 1 year means? One has to check their passport to see maybe the stamp or the work permit or whatever they came in with. Whether that due diligence is done, I don't know, but you see ID cards that would have people who are Commonwealth citizens who have an actual Guyana ID card that says Kenya or Trinidad or Barbados or whatever, where they're born. So any change in that it's not an interpretation. The law is very clear. There's no interpretation to it unless this is the only election that there's been any whisper about taking Commonwealth citizens off of the voters list. And that is something probably the opposition may want to follow up with, including with the members of the GCOM. But as far as I know, GCOM interprets the law as it is. That is, they're allowed to vote once they're here for 1 year, and the way in which they prove it is their stamps, their immigration stamps, and their, what you call, maybe a work permit if you have a work permit. But it's not a big amount of people. It's a small amount of people.
Mr. Chairman, a follow-up, please. Be that as it may, that it's not a large amount of people. I think GCOM is on record as saying there must be strict compliance with both aspects. It's not just respectfully, it is not just 1 year residency, but you must also show that you've been domiciled here. So, and I believe GCOM is on record as saying there must be strict compliance with both criteria. So my question is...
But just to cut you, we have no residency arrangement in Ghana. There's no residency requirement. This was something that came up years ago. You're allowed, your domicility is based on where you are at the moment. You're domiciled here, this is where you're living. We don't offer anybody something called residency, like you have in the States permanent residence. You have in other countries that might offer residency based on living there for 2 years or whatever. We don't have that at all in our law. What we have is people get stamped when they come in, they may look for a job or they're investing, and that the work permit is issued or the visa extensions issued. Some later on, spending many years here, may want to become citizens and have dual citizenship. But there's no special dispensation and difference between residence and domicility, or there's no special thing to do with residency. Once you're in Guyana and you're living here, and you say you're living here, this is your home, that's it, it's your home.
Respectfully, there's a difference.
No query over it.
So respectfully, there's a difference, but so to clarify.
I'm just saying in our law, there's no provision. That's what I'm not saying that it's the same.
Right.
I'm saying in our law, there's no provision
I'm
for
just
residency.
clarifying, Honorable Minister, the GCOM will accept going forward, for the record, just the presence in Guyana of a Commonwealth citizen for 1 year as the requirement for the issuance of an ID card and then being eligible to vote. I just want that to be
Honorable member, the gentlemen who are behind me are very honorable men too, but they cannot answer for the commission. They are the administrators of the commission. They are not the commission. The commission is 6 members and a chairman. Only they can take those policy decisions. So please don't try to tie me
No,
or
I'm not
the
doing
honorable
that.
members here
Honorable
into
Minister,
making a commitment.
Honorable Minister, right. Honorable Minister, respectfully, the commissioners are not the ones who issue the ID card or go through the process of registering anybody. It's the gentleman right next to you who do that. So
but they can only work, again, sorry to interrupt you. They can only do what they're told by the commission that this is what is allowed or what the law allows. They cannot breach the law. So even if the commission says, go ahead or don't go ahead and give Commonwealth citizens, and they must have 3 years or something, they cannot do it
So
because unlawful instruction. they've been given. They have to follow what the law says until the politicians and the parliament decides that we want to change the law. And so I suggest, honorable member, that you may want to have a discourse with the GCOM commissioners on this, and that if you feel strongly enough, you could bring a proposal here to the parliament.
So I'm just seeking that what is the current SOP? 1 year in the country, you're issued an ID card. Is that what the GCOM is currently operating? And they're quite capable of advising you if that
Yeah,
is
they
it.
have.
that is it.
The law provides for 1 year.
So 1 year and registration.
And it's either your passport and or a national ID card.
Okay, thank you.
So they could produce their passport,
Thank you.
right?
Thank you, Minister.
Is that right?
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 11, Program 111, Elections Commission, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those against say no. Ayes have it.
Who
The
said
sum
that?
stated now
Ganesh?
stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, turn to page 517.
Yeah.
And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 111, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates.
Capital there?
Honorable member, Ms. Natasha Lewis.
Thank you very much,
Natasha
Mr. Chair.
Singh, sorry.
Mr. Chair, the sums stated there are for several activities. Could the Honorable Minister disaggregate the sum?
Honorable Minister,
Yeah, you mean the 390 million
Yes.
for capital? Sure. Yeah. For buildings, it's 75,959,000, and this includes a number of rollover projects to do with Port Kaituma registration office, for example, as well as equipment, mostly for the registration offices across the country. You also have fire extinguishers, photocopies, etc. So under buildings, sorry, let me go back, 75,959,000. Workshop, tarmac fence, boat shed fence, etc. These are also physical facilities, is 21,470,000. And this is things like the woodshed boat is at Camarang and Bartica. Doretta may be interested. We also have equipment. Then you have vehicles, boat, and engine. Yeah, no, they've done it differently. Yeah, so you got construction of a building at Maruka, construction of one surface for frontline, Mycone. But I think what Ms. Lewis wanted, Honorable Member Lewis wanted, was just the capitals, the totals, right? Yeah. So I was just giving an elaboration when we talk about buildings, is registration offices in various parts of the country. They have boats and engines. I'm just looking for that. How many of them? Where are your boats and engines? No, break down. Break down. For boats and engines, vehicles, 33 million. 33 million. What, how many vehicles? I don't have the number of vehicles. And while they're looking for that, let's look at equipment. There's a lot of equipment. 238 million, 340,600. And the equipment varies in terms of office equipment, etc., computers, etc. And furniture, 21,390,200. Yeah, for the vehicles, the acquisition of two Toyota Hilux, 33 million, right? So they don't have any boats here, as far as I can see, but they have two Hilux required for Wellington, Fort Wellington, and Lethem. These are two areas that they're looking at.
Disagree.
Any other? You got two votes where?
Thanks for that question, Minister. And the justification we have here, Mr. Chair,
Go
sorry.
ahead, go ahead.
I think you took it back.
There was no mention of vehicles, so I'm happy for that explanation. What I'm interested in the disaggregation is the 75.959 for
Buildings.
offices and buildings, particularly registration office. I know that the New Amsterdam registration office has been deemed a fire hazard, so I did not hear in that breakdown if there's anything for that office.
Just give me the one for furniture. I mean, the building. Right. As I said, construction of one building required from Maruka. We have also we have fences, storerooms, Camarang, one boathouse, Maruka, washrooms at Collagen, Camarang, construction of water trestles, Anna Regina, Nouvelle, Flanders, construction of three guard huts, three of them, at Maikoni, Madhya, main office. I'm just seeing if I lift out anything. And then when you go to the maintenance, which would be in the T form. This is maintenance. Under the maintenance budget, honorable member, you have all GCOM offices, buildings in good condition, routine maintenance. Then you have GCOM New Amsterdam, rehabilitation of roof, ceiling, windows, and guard hut. That's 5.3. GCOM stores, head office, installation of L-shaped counter, 300,000. GCOM Maikoni, repairs to guard hut, 300,000. That's 9.9 under maintenance of buildings. And you did work last year, right, on a number of buildings? Yeah. So that's for it, and you said the one building is in bad condition?
I was referring specifically to the office in New Amsterdam, the
Yes.
registration office.
Mhm.
And your answer, you were going to spend 900,000?
5.3 million for, this is maintenance, under maintenance of buildings,
Yes.
right? And then you have under capital, the construction of let's go back, Maruka, and also, but there's no capital for New Amsterdam.
So then New Amsterdam falls on the repairs,
Yes, correct.
which is specific to the ceiling, the roof, and the guard huts?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very
Mr.
much. Honorable Member, Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I just want a clarification from the Honorable Minister. Is it that you said construction of a guard hut at the Maikoni sub-office and repairs for the same guard hut?
No.
Because, sir, if I may, I know for a fact that that guard hut has already been constructed or repaired because I visited and I saw a new guard hut. So is it that we do the works and then come to the National Assembly for the monies? Or you're doing a new guard hut?
I would hope not. So why is it still on here then? It's still here, it says Maikoni. Is it Mike or Maikoni?
There's no capital position for Muruka Guard. It's just
What? If you're asked silly questions, I have to answer. Yeah, I know. Myconi, Madia, and main office are the three that are listed, whoops, for construction of guard huts.
So you're saying, Honorable Minister, that the budgetary allocation is now in place for a job that has already been done? Because a few weeks ago when I visited, you could have seen the security guard from outside through the board because they had no proper walling and so on. But just recently, there's a new guard hut. And here again, we're hearing about another guard hut to be built at the same location. And I'm aware that there is only one gate or one entrance, and the same entrance is used as an exit at that location.
They apparently did do some repairs to the guard hut, but they've now put it in this budget to do a new one.
We'll verify. Thank you.
My Paul
Thank you.
Construction.
Yeah.
Thank you. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 111, Agency 11, Capital Expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye.
Is this yours or mine?
Those against say no.
It's yours.
Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you very much, Minister and staff of the Guyana Elections Commission. As we invite the Supreme Court staff to join Minister in the well.
You keep your eye on the phone. Dennis. Yeah. You keep your check on the phone for 1 week. It's 2 weeks. You can get it. Wait. Hi, PM.
Thank you, honorable members. Let us turn to pages 308 and 309. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 55, Program 551, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 551, Supreme Court, current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Let us turn to page 545. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 551, Agency 55, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 551, Agency 51, Supreme Court, capital expenditure, stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you, staff of the Supreme Court and Minister. Let us turn to pages 312 and 313 as we invite Agency 56, Public Prosecutions, and the staff of the DPP office join Minister.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose the question that a sum stated for Program 50, Agency 56, Program 561, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put the question that the sum stated for Agency 56, Program 561, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Turn to page 546. And I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 56, Program 561, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 561 of Agency 56, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you, staff of the DPP office.
Thank you.
Let us turn to pages 316 and 17
Could we put the AC back on?
and invite the staff of the Office of the Ombudsman to join Minister
Yes, of course,
in the well.
of course.
Honorable members, I propose a question that the sum stated for Agency 57, Program 571, Ombudsman current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 57, Program 571, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Please turn to page 547. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 57, Program 571,
Right.
capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Program 57 of Program 571, Ombudsman, Agency 57, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Thank you, Minister and staff of the Ombudsman Office.
Thank you, Mary.
Let us turn to pages 320 and 321.
What happened? You all are tired?
And
or that you
invite the
didn't prepare?
staff of the Public Service Appellate Tribunal to join Minister
I expect that.
in the
It's
well.
okay.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 58, Program 581, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I put a question that the sum stated for Agency 58, Program 581, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let us turn to page 548. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 58, Program 581, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 58, Program 581, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Let's turn to pages 324 and 325 and invite the staff of the Ethnic Relations Commission to join Minister in the well.
I see you're not using my words, Mr. Speaker. Of being in the pit.
I sat in pit for too long. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 59, Program 591, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, I now put a question. Honorable member, Ms. Natasha Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, 6111 to 117. I would like if the Honorable Minister can tell us the staffing capacity of the investigative department of the ERC.
There are 5 staff in the investigative unit of the ERC.
So the question I'm trying to ask here is, when the agency was established and the investigative unit was established, is it 5 staff that was required?
You're talking about in 2013 when it was formed?
Yes.
No, it didn't have that number of investigators then.
So,
Yeah, right now it's 5 and there are 5 positions and they're
so
5
that's the
are
full
filled.
capacity.
Yeah, it could change it if it wishes over time, but it hasn't had to do that so far.
Okay, my second question, same line item. Could you tell us the training that is scheduled for 2026 for the investigative department, or unit, sorry?
I just want to ask the honorable member if she's seen the indicators for ERC on page 293. Okay, I just want to make sure you've seen it, because it gives you some information there.
For the investigative department specifically, it's a
Alternative dispute. Just that one alone?
No, the list
All this is.
all are-
Right, so for the investigative unit, they have alternative dispute resolution certificate online from St. Cloud State University. They have a new, what's the EEU? Investigators, ADR Academy online, also St. Cloud State University. They have training for investigative file case management online with the Justice Institute of British Columbia, and also Justice Institute of British Columbia for digitizing of case files, personnel, etc., as well as they have other training for other stuff like admin, customer relations, and also training with public speaking, etc. But the ones that are specifically investigative department are 2 at St. Cloud, 1 and 2 at the Justice Institute of British Columbia. And these would allow for several people to be trained in these. One of them at digitizing of case files, 3 personnel. 3 would go on that, as well as the others that would go. Right?
Thank you, Minister. Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 59, Program 591, Ethnic Relations Commission, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Please turn to page 549. And I propose the question that the sum stated for Program 591, Agency 59, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 59, Program 591, capital expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. The sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Honorable members, remember we are going through. We're not taking no break. And whoever wants their refreshment downstairs, thank you to staff of the ERC. Please turn to pages 328 and 329 as I invite the Judicial Service Commission staff to join Minister.
I put the Rights Commission with the rubber band all together.
This way is special.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now propose the question that the sum stated for Agency 60, Program 601, Judicial Service Commission current expenditure stands part of the estimates. I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 60, Program 601, current expenditure stands part of the estimates. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. Ayes have it. Sum stated now stands part of the estimates. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister and staff of the JSC. Honorable members, we can turn to pages 332 and 3. And I propose the question that the sum, and this is the Rights Commission. Let me invite the staff of the Rights Commission to join our minister responsible for the constitutional agencies, the Honorable Gail Teixeira. Honorable members, I now propose the question. And I propose that the sum stated for Agency 61, Program 611, Rights Commissions of Guyana current expenditure, stands part of the estimates. The Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the Rights Commissions cater for the Human Rights Commission, the Women and Gender Equality Commission, the Indigenous Peoples Commission, the Rights of the Child Commission.
Yes.
May I ask the Honorable Minister if from this allocated sum of $60,785,000, is there any consideration here for the Human Rights Commission?
Honorable Minister.
Honorable member, I think you know the answer to that question. One is that the chairman comes from a list provided by the Leader Opposition under the same formula like GCOM, a person not unacceptable to the president, but to provide 6 names. That's one aspect of it. The second aspect, though, is a question that is being raised by the legal profession and lawyers that the Human Rights Commission seems to have powers of a court, which it's not supposed to have. And so in the constitutional reform process, this will be examined to see if it is in order, whether the views of some of the legal professional people is that it is not. It has powers that it would be similar to another judicial court. So, but the issue is that over the decades, no leader opposition has presented any name to the president at the time, whoever was the president, with 6 names that are not unacceptable under the same formula of GCOM. And so the president does not have the right under the Constitution to appoint himself. He has to, it states it's from the 6 names, unless, of course, like someone like the GCOM is, if he fails to do so, that is, fails to provide any names, that it may be possible. But in the same time, the issue is that the concept in Parliament at the time of that constitutional reform was to have some situation in which the leader opposition had a say in who became the chairman of GCOM and who became the chairman of the Human Rights Commission. But the concern of its legitimacy to act as a court has been challenged, and that has to be carefully and seriously examined.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
So in other words, no.
Honorable members, Honorable Member, Ms. Halley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I'm volume 2, the indicators. And the indicators for the Rights of the Child Commission show that the number of inspections done for places of detention for children in conflict, early childhood institutions, and childcare institutions were not 100% last year.
That were what?
They were not 100% last year. They did not inspect all of the institutions or monitored all of the institutions required. So I'm just asking whether the Honorable Minister can please state what measures will be put in place to ensure that 100% of the early child care institutions, places of detention, and child care institutions are inspected and monitored this year in keeping with their target.
Honorable
Right,
Minister?
the two answers to that question. One is that they didn't have an investigative officer in 2025. They now have hired one. Secondly, please remember there's the other laws of Ghana that deal with inspection of institutions that deal with children. So you have, for example, the, what's it called? Child Care and Development Services. And that committee has been working and inspecting different childcare facilities and in the last 2 years, as well as the orphanages. So when it says a number of childcare institutions, it could include orphanages as well. But yes, they feel now, as you see, the target for 2026 is 100%. They feel with an investigative officer, they will be able to do that.
Thank you, Minister. Ms.
Mr.
Ali?
Chair, Mrs. Chair, is the Honorable Minister stating that one investigator would be sufficient to monitor and inspect all of the institutions where children are?
Minister?
They believe that they can with the other 7 commissioners, because normally it isn't only an investigator going out, it would include members of the commission accompanying, and they also do their outreach, they also do an inspection, so it's not just the investigator alone. They're of the opinion, they're the commission, they're the opinion that they could manage this with one investigator and the 7, right? 7 other commissioners.
Honorable members, I now put a question that the sum stated for Agency 601, Program 611, current expenditure, stands part of